Hello there, welcome to the Marketplace. Coming up, we place a spotlight on women in business as the second lady calls for an ease of access to loans. Also, we take you to the second-hand vehicles market in the U.S. to better understand what has changed in terms of pricing and other related matters since we adopted an automobile bill. We have more after this break. Hey, welcome back to the Marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. Second Lady Samira Bawumia has lamented what she has observed to be the inability of many Ghanaian women to access loans for their businesses. Now, even though a 2019 IMF report indicates that women are less likely to default on loans, most of them are having issues accessing credit for their businesses. The Second Lady spoke at the launch of the Young Women Entrepreneurship Initiative put together by the Ministry of Business Development.
The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, indicates that 37% of women in sub-Saharan Africa have bank accounts and access to formal financial institutions and saving mechanisms. These low rates persist despite the fact that women are less likely to default on loans than men. Mr. Minister, women pay their loans, so give them more. The effect of this is the continuous low market share of women entrepreneurs. This ought to change, and I believe from today we will see that change. The narrative in this country would change, and it has to change. For entrepreneurship to thrive, there is the need to create an enabling environment which allows business to flourish. Ensuring that this becomes a reality is the collective responsibility of both government and the private sector. An environment enabling of entrepreneurship is one which works together to eliminate barriers, one which reduces the level of bureaucracy faced by entrepreneurs, and an environment that makes financial resources and knowledge accessible. Resolving this accessibility problem is the goal of this project, which is the Young Women Entrepreneurship Initiative. We need to have an honest conversation on the question of equal business opportunities and compensation for labor for women. We know women are generally underpaid, and that has to change as well.
Well, and that's the Second Lady there. Meanwhile, the Minister for Business Development, Mohammed Awal, has also been highlighting government initiatives to help women in business.
The last few years, more businesses in Ghana have been owned by women. And it's very encouraging because where women own businesses, the economy grows and jobs are created. However, unfortunately, majority of these businesses owned by women are necessity-driven entrepreneurs. They only create the jobs for themselves and their immediate families. The intention for most of them is not aspirational. It is therefore important that there is policy to help transition our women from necessity-driven entrepreneurs to opportunity-driven entrepreneurs, where the women can expand their businesses and compete. That's why we are doing this program today with the support of Excellences Foundation. Only Monday, 2 days ago, the President of the Republic, Nana Akufo-Addo, commissions after Secretariat and hand over to the AU. The African Continental Project has 1.2 billion people with $3.3 trillion annual revenues. Ghana should not be a spectator in AFTA. Ghana should prepare its people and take advantage of the continental free trade business that's going to rake in 3.3 billion. That's why we must prepare our people. And women are very important in Ghana. Ghana cannot succeed without our women entrepreneurs. We can't succeed without women entrepreneurs. It is for this reason that over the next 4 months, the ministry with NEP and Samira Bawumia's Foundation will deliver 3 million cedis to support the scale out the business of these young entrepreneurs in ICT, trade and commerce, tourism, etc. Please take advantage of it and grow. But over the next 4 years, from next year, Government will spend 50 million cedis every year to support women entrepreneurs in this country.
Now, we can confidently say that Ghana has bounced back to the days of vehicle assembly, reshaping the automobile industry to create jobs while industrializing the economy. Since the establishment of an automobile bill in Ghana, we've engaged almost all the players in the automotive industry, from the new assemblers to the second-hand dealers. Now, today we take you to the second-hand vehicles market in the United States to better understand what has changed in terms of pricing and other related matters. We have Isaac Achiampong, who buys from the auction market in the U.S. and exports to Ghana for his clients. He joins us virtually for this discussion. Welcome to the program. First of all, you have been dealing in this business for the past 15 years, if I do get it right. What has changed for you now that Ghana is ready by October to ban the importation of overaged vehicles?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the market right now due to the fact that about 80% of the vehicles that we import to Ghana are usually salvage vehicles because it's the most affordable by the low wages, citizens of the country. And now, due to the fact that the new bill seeks to ban all importations of I have about 10 orders on hold because by the time the vehicle gets to Ghana, it will be affected by the new bill, meaning that they cannot clear the cars from the port. So the market is really hanging on a thread right now.
We do have the automotive bill currently in Ghana, and it has various sections which was passed by Parliament. I don't know if you've really read the entire bill, but what's your response to this entire bill that has been drafted to regulate the automobile industry?
I believe that the bill has a lot of positive consequences for the country, especially having new manufacturers come into Ghana to try to create jobs. However, I tried to pull the bill. Since I first heard about it, I went online and tried to pull the bill myself to read it, but the bill was nowhere to be found. So I just read bits and pieces from various news outlets and kind of put together what is really in the bill. And what I noticed is that in an effort to bring in new manufacturing jobs in Ghana, the used car dealers and body works and mechanics are going to suffer deeply with this bill because, as you know, when accident vehicles come into the country, they need body work done, they need painting, and by so doing, cutting all salvage vehicles, this is going to reduce the amount of work that the laborers, as far as used car mechanics and used car dealers, are going to take a huge hit, with this new bill.
Isaac, just stand by, because we've also been joined by Novi Hoho Douglas, who is also on the other side to share his side of the story to us. So Douglas, welcome to the program. There's been a drop in new car production rates by automobile giants, causing a surge in demand for second-hand vehicles. These are some of the claims we're hearing on the ground. Now, how is the current market doing in terms of pricing?
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. Currently, I'll say it is bad. It is bad because of the announcement of the banning of importation of used cars. I would not use the word salvage cars, because the cars we bring in, they're not salvage cars.
Are they overaged?
They're misleading a lot of people, salvage to used cars. If you say salvage, what are you talking about? Salvage is something that is out of use. It can't be used any longer. But the cars we bring are practically cars that are just having a problem, the fender going off, a bump going off or something. Those cars that you're showing are a rip-off. And these cars are old vehicles. So if you want to sell new cars compared to used cars, how many people have deep pockets that can afford to purchase new vehicles?
Right.
To tell you what, I have some document lying on my table right now, which I'll put it to your mail one of the days, which talks about the reason why Germany is bringing in those vehicles for us to use. You know, I was in Germany last year, and they are pushing every petrol car from their system. So they are bringing in the electronic vehicles. Every car that is being sold there now are electronic vehicles. All right. So if you are bringing this in here for us to suffer, meanwhile, we can't. It's not everybody who can pay that amount of buying $48,000, $68,000 for a vehicle, and somebody has about 5,000 to 7,000 or 10,000 vehicles.
Douglas, we have seen most of these vehicles being assembled in Ghana, and we have seen the price ranges. In fact, the least you could imagine is going for 40,000 cedis, not dollars, 40,000 cedis.
40,000 cedis.
60,000 cedis, I should rather say. But beyond that, Douglas, if you read the bill, closely, the government together with private sector, they're making a strong case that people like you who engage in the automobile business, you still have a chance to tap into the gold mine of Ghana's, automobile industry. They're arguing that with these new assembly points coming in sale, you could benefit from the value chain.
Honestly, it is just a bother to the businessmen, because if you are selling a car 60,000 Ghana cedis, excluding tax. Excluding tax. So if it's excluding tax, you just have the face value of 60,000 Ghana cedis. And you bring a used car, and you can pay less than 60,000 Ghana cedis, and you can have equal match with that car parked there at the showroom. Yes, we have different people who want to buy flashy, new, modern car, but somebody want to go with a normal, high status car, which is okay in a deep pocket. Highest can go is 20,000 or 25,000, not in a mid of 60,000. So what happens to the other people? I read the bill, and the bill is capitalizing on salvage cars and old cars. Right. How many people are going to bring old cars into the system over 10 years?
Interesting.
Who's going to do that?
Let me bring in Isaac now. Now, Isaac, there has been a drop in new car production by automobile giants, causing a surge in demand for second-hand vehicles. Now, how is the current market doing in terms of pricing?
Well, right now, used cars have went up about 30% since the pandemic. And the reason being is that parts and logistics went down. You know, most of the parts used in a new car manufacturing come from Asia. And due to the pandemic, everything was shut down. So now the demand is high for used cars, and in so doing, the prices at the auction and at the used car lots here in the U.S. have went up about 30%.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, even indicative of the need for us to even boost local production here in Ghana? Any of you could take it up?
No, you see, we're looking at creating jobs. Beautiful. It is awesome. But are you creating the jobs at the perils of others? Right. Or you are creating the jobs because you want to make a name?
That's
debatable.
To create the name
or want to create that niche.
That's debatable.
Beautiful.
But, you know...
but are you not sabotaging other people's business?
Well, government keeps reiterating the fact that they're not sabotaging businesses. They're rather giving you a new strain of business within the value chain of the country's automobile, the niche automobile market. But let me bring you in, Douglas. There's been various concerns about the cost involved in getting a vehicle, even if it's secondhand. People say it's so much expensive. Is it the case in the U.S.? And probably what factors do you consider in pricing a car?
Good. So I have charts. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so the problem is 90% of the people, when they contact you in the U.S. and they want a vehicle, what's the number one car that everybody wants? It's Toyota, right?
Exactly.
And now, due to the demand, Toyota price has skyrocketed. I went to the auction and bought an American car, a 2010 Buick with 90,000 miles on it, okay? Those cars are very reliable. I paid $4,000 dollars for the car, but there was a 2007 Toyota Camry that went for $4,500 with over 150,000 miles on it.
Right.
Okay, so people will have to adjust their views on other cars, saying, "Oh, these cars are not good." When it comes to vehicles, when it hits about 150,000 miles, the automaker calls it that it has exceeded its mechanical limit.
Great.
Meaning you have to start maintaining the vehicle. If you drive any car and you don't change the oil and you don't make maintenance, the car is not going to last. You get what you put in. So
interesting.
That's my view on it.
Interesting, but your views are very much helpful within this discussion. But we have seen government instituted the bills, they've legislated the movement, and what this means is that the importation of salvaged, overaged vehicles are going to be much more of a challenge for both of you guys. Moving forward, how best are you going to survive moving forward now that your business is on the line, as you stated, Douglas?
All right, so moving forward, we're pleading to government to tweak it a little bit. See,
yes,
it is. I have a sheet which I'll share with you. We have ranged it. It's labeled run, drive and run, and it's labeled not runnable. It is also labeled not definable. If you have these two labels, you can't drive it. You can't bring it in.
right.
As my brother was saying.
Yeah.
You can't get a car that is not running into the system.
All right, so Douglas, I feel you have made a point. The fact that you're pleading with governments to help you. What about you, Isaac? What's going to be the way forward for you?
So when they came up with this bill, they put a blanket on salvage vehicles. Like Douglas was saying, when it comes to salvage vehicles, there are different aspects of it. Some has been in a flood. Some has been in fire damage. And some just have a little bumper problem. I believe the government, this bill, in my opinion, lacks a lot of details, okay? So they need to make some exemptions for some of these cars called salvage vehicles, because if the car just need a front bumper cover,
great, gentlemen, I think we have exhausted our time.
Put it on and drive it.
We have exhausted our time. Your points have been clearly made. Grateful having you on board, Isaac and Douglas. They are both second-hand car dealers expressing their frustration over the new automobile bill, which bans the importation of salvaged and overaged cars. Many thanks, gentlemen, for being here with us. But just before we leave, trade expert Richard Ampabin says the absence of a common currency will not hamper trade among member countries under the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Now, 26 out of 54 countries have so far signed on to the Trade Pact, which is expected to boost intra-Africa trade by $35 billion per annum. Despite this, critics say the absence of a common currency will hinder implementation. But trade expert Richard Ampabin disagrees.
This trade pact is not too distant away from WTO rules. And if you ask me, trade in the world now revolves around the dollar and the sterling and the yen and what have you. So Africa not having a common currency is not an inhibition to trade. If you care to know, EU, not all the members are on euro. About 8 of them are not on euro. But EU is running with a common market. So as for currency, yes, it will be better as we move on to get a common currency. But let me state it here.
Right.
Given the nature of our economies in Africa, again, the fragmentation of African states, is a bit difficult to about a common currency now. Because if you look at the other blocks, they use those near to themselves use common currency. And as you are saying, we could use the ECO. Those of us in West Africa can use the ECO, and it will be better for us to go into this pact with our common currency. But that doesn't also force any of our blocks to do same. I mean, currency is only an medium of exchange. And if we have a common medium of exchange, courtesy the dollar, fine. We can, for now, use the dollar as our common currency.
Well, and that's how we draw down the curtains on this edition of The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. From me and the rest of the team, we say many thanks for watching. But do stay because we have election brief coming up next with Araba Kumsit.